Hello.
Hi, back again.
Welcome to the next episode of the BRIO in the Box podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of at the end of summer, a little bit.
Let's not talk about that.
I'm not really in a mood to admit that. Also, it's like 30 degrees out right now.
Yeah.
But we're
Hence
thinking
tank
ahead.
tops.
Yeah.
It's hot in our
It's
closet.
hot in the closet. It does get toasty in here after like an hour of chatting with each other.
It does.
We are thinking ahead for what's on deck for the fall.
Yeah. It's kind of the end of the casual summer for most people. You know, lake time is mostly over. Everybody's back in school. Mm-hmm. Work schedules normalized. Vacations are over. So usually most people try to get back into a better routine and undo the damage they did through the summer.
Yeah. And not to say that shouldn't be done. I think you got to go hard in the summer. It's a short season for us. Like, enjoy it. We did a podcast at the start of the season to say, like, maximize your enjoyment of summer. But that does take away a little bit of the routine. And we often find by the fall, people are like keen to kind of recommit to the gym. As much as there's the cliche of the January joiners, we actually see a bigger influx in September.
Yeah.
When people are just like, kids are back in school, weather's a little cooler, ready to like recommit to the gym thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we continuously like to update and try new things. That's what's kept us keen and interested in running a CrossFit gym for 15 years. Mm-hmm. Some people get burnt out on it or bored of it. I never do. I'm going to do this till I die.
75 coaching classes.
You betcha. I'm going to die in this gym, you guys. We're all grown old together in here. I'm going to just keel over when I'm 95, coaching a snatch, and that'll be RIP Coach Jocelyn. She lived a good life.
Bodyweight snatch. Done.
Done. But to keep it interesting, we like to tinker, to try different things. And we learned a long time ago, no 2 years are ever the same.
Yep.
And to just accept that as part of natural growth and progression.
Yeah.
Like a river that flows. Be like water. Isn't that Bruce Lee?
It's like, it's a Bruce Lee comment.
And we have always just tried things and then we just go with what works.
Yeah.
So a bunch of the changes aren't really changes.
Mm-hmm.
We're just following what's already happening and what emerges naturally and what people like and what helps us have fun and keeps us coming back for more forever and ever.
Keep it interesting.
Till we die.
Yeah, till you die. I'm going to retire way before that. Sorry, guys. You only get me for so long.
One of the first things you'll notice after the Labor Day long weekend is just some changes to some of the class names or descriptions.
Yes. Yeah. So these basically have always been this way. Mm-hmm. We're not really changing the classes. It's just the name is going to change. Mm-hmm. And we're mostly doing this so that if a newer athlete or newer member is coming in, they have a better idea of what to expect in each of the classes. So we've been running the 6 a.m. and the noon as large group training for about 6 months or maybe longer. Mm-hmm. So those are going to still have a 20-person limit. Those are two of our most popular classes. For the most part, it's all seasoned veterans. You know, they know what they're doing, so we can get through things a little bit more efficiently and people can comfortably share equipment and all of that. New people can still do these classes. They just have to be ready for that type of environment. Mm-hmm. Sharing equipment, more people around. If you're into that type of thing, awesome. 6 a.m., noon, that's where it's going to be at.
Yeah, so some people really love those like energetic, big, fun classes, working out with your friends. 8 a.m. and 7:30 p.m., those ones will now say small group training on them. So the class limit on those ones will be 10 people. So if a big, fun, busy, energetic gym's not your jam, that's fine. And you prefer a little bit more of a low key or like a little bit more of your own space kind of vibe, that one will have a 10-person limit. So there's 10 racks in the gym. Yeah. A little bit more maybe individualized attention from the coach just when there's less people there. So if you prefer that, that's an option.
Yeah, and part of that is we're going to open that up to new people and suggest that that is an option for getting started. Mm-hmm. We know that the barriers to entry can be great for some people, and sometimes fronting the money to do the one-on-one sessions with the foundations is a tough thing to do. So we're trying to think of a new way to allow people to join the gym without worrying about the upfront cost. So what we'll do is new members can jump right into those small group training classes. They can start right away, and they can only do the 8 a.m. and the 7:30 p.m. classes until they've done 10.
It obviously will be slower progress than doing the foundations and having the one-on-one attention from the coach that teaches you everything you need to know before you jump in. So the foundations is certainly still an option, and it's the preferred option, but trying to be a little bit more flexible in meeting people where they're at.
Once they've done 10, they've probably got a pretty good idea of the movements they're going to need to know and a little bit of experience for the classes. And at that point, they can start to join the regular classes.
There's also a little bit of an online self-orientation to some of the material that we cover in the Foundations program. So completing Nutrition 101 and an online version of covering some of the material that we talk about in our day one whiteboard talk. We call it What is CrossFit? Understanding the methodology of how and why we train the way we do, how specifically things work at BRIO. So if you have a friend or someone that's thinking of joining the gym and they're enthusiastic to just jump right in and maybe doesn't want to do foundations or the cost is a barrier, this is the option there. So once people have completed at least 10 classes in those small group sessions and they've done the 2 online courses, then they can open up access to the regular classes in a more flexible schedule.
Yeah, we still want people to know what they're doing and understand how we operate and everything. So that orientation will cover all those things. And then again, with the smaller classes, you'll just have more time to work with the coach, and the coach will be able to help you individually and make sure you're set up for success.
And that's an advantage that we have of having a really long-term, dedicated, experienced, well-educated group of coaches, right? Everybody that coaches at BRIO has been doing it for a long time. They're all for sure level 1s, lots of them level 2s, level 3s, you and I are level 4s. Nobody has less than several years of experience of coaching groups. So that's the kind of thing that we can open up and make happen thanks to our awesome crew of coaches.
Yeah. Our 9:30 class. So historically, our 9:30 class has a lot of like veterans that have been with us since the beginning. A lot of these members started as personal training clients like 15 years ago or longer and have since naturally moved towards the 9:30 class. So it's a lot more of our legends people. You know, we have shift workers and quite a varied group of people in this class, but we wanted to make sure that that class was appropriately set up for success when doing the programming. So the main change for that class is we're going to be offering a substituted workout on certain days, not consistently, but once in a while.
So you'll see the class description. I'll say workout of the day, everyone plus legends. Most of the time it's the same workout of the day. And you'll see when I do the week at a glance, the blog post every Sunday, mostly it's the same workout of the day, but every once in a while, and with some specific, very high skill movements. With that group, our legends and our first responders and stuff that tend to frequent the 9:30 class, their priorities are centered more around the real life practical application of the things we do in the gym. So there's lots of ways we can describe functional movements, but one of them being like natural. They're the movements we see in real life. So for our older athletes, maintaining that real life functionality to be able to live independently and go up and down the stairs and play with their grandkids and carry their own groceries and those kinds of real life movements that are squats and deadlifts and presses and burpees and those things, as well as our first responders that need those real life functional movements, those natural functional movements to meet the demands of their job, to save the day and fight crime and all the cool things that those guys do.
Yeah.
So on occasion, there'll just be some slight substitutions. So where the regular classes might be working on a skill of like hang, squat, snatch plus full snatch and 3 position, snatch, overhead squat, more complex, high skill movements. The 9:30 class might be doing like prowler pushes.
Yeah. Or like Romanian deadlifts or some sort of less skill based, more something you can actually like work hard at. So we'll try to offer one that will allow you to get a better stimulus that'll be more appropriate for their level or for their needs. And that way it's not just a skill day, they can still really apply some intensity and get a good workout out of it.
Yeah. And so is this an easier class? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And if anything, it might allow people to work with a higher power output in terms of moving large loads, long distances quickly.
Yeah. And when we're talking about power output, that's exactly it, right? So let's talk about a full squat snatch. If you're a 70-plus-year-old person and you struggle with mobility and maybe your joints don't properly allow you to get into these good positions, to do a squat snatch, you might only be using 15 pounds or maybe 25 pounds if you can even do the movement. So you're not really moving a large load. If you're limited in range of motion, you're not really moving a long distance, and then you can only go so fast with those things. So you're losing all of the variables for good power output. You would be way better served doing something like a deadlift or a prowler push or something like that.
Yeah. So focusing on the real life practical application aspect of functional training.
So the 9:30 class, most of the time will be normal, but on specific days, you'll see a different option. That's the one that'll be coached. That's the one that they'll be focusing on with the warm up and the movement prep and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Things like handstand walking or squat snatches or some of those skill-based movements, they're expressions of fitness, as in like the 10 generally recognized physical skills. When you have good strength, stamina, speed, power, accuracy, agility, coordination, and balance, you can do a good squat snatch, but they're not how you get those things.
Yeah.
You know, and you also, do you need to learn to walk on your hands to live a good life and maintain functional independence until you die? Absolutely not.
No.
Is it a cool skill that some people with good strength, balance, coordination, flexibility, accuracy can do? For sure. Is it a fun thing to learn? For sure. Is it the best use of everyone's time? Not necessarily. So having different options and allowing people to self-select into what serves their goals the best.
And again, for the most part, the workouts will be the same for most of the week, if not the whole week. Yeah. It'll just be on the days where it's a very high skill or very technical or very advanced type of workout that will have a different version.
Yeah. And then speaking of skill development and giving people the opportunity to develop those skills that have the base of fitness that they need to and the desire to work on those things, something we'll be adding, and it'll start the Saturday of the long weekend called Big Saturdays. It's a 90-minute class. So that's the only thing that stays consistent from week to week, is it's just a longer class, Big Saturday. Right. We're giving ourselves a bit more time once a week to do a variety of different things. What we're going to do with that little bit of extra time won't be the same all the time. Once in a while, we need a longer class time to do some big like hero workouts. Once in a while, we want to do things like Chad that we need more than an hour. Yeah. Sometimes we might put multiple elements together into what looks similar to what we used to call a monster mash, having like maybe a lift and a WOD and another little WOD, you know, like once in a while doing a multi-part programming. And then giving ourselves the opportunity sometimes to incorporate little skills clinics, gymnastics time, practice time, and taking advantage of having more than one coach there and maybe breaking out into a couple groups. So for working on muscle ups, for example, high skill movement, we might have you and I there at the same time. You take one group of athletes and you're spotting them on the high rings to work on muscle ups. People that don't yet have their strict pull-ups and dips dialed in, maybe I have the other half of the group and we're doing an EMOM of the base of strength movements that we need, or we're doing low ring transitions to work on the technical aspect of it. So a little divide and conquer and allow us some time. We've done gymnastics clinics. You have at different times in the past, but we find schedule wise, it's difficult for people to take extra time out of their week to come in outside of the hour they already have carved out for their workout. Yeah.
So we'll do that with a workout as part of a longer class. They'll run 8 o'clock, 9:30, and probably 11 if there's enough demand for it. And again, just an hour and a half, more time to do a bigger workout or spend some more time on skills, or just do multiple components within a session.
Yeah. And weightlifting as well. So some of the weekends that I'm around, we'll do more of a proper, snatch day, clean and jerk day, a little proper barbell club. And then, like you said, not just that, but with partner WOD or another workout after, allow us the time to do multiple components. So, I think that'll be really fun. Prior to the summer, Saturdays we're getting super busy. At various times in the past, we've done Monster Mash type days, and they've always been super popular. So I think it'll be fun to get back to that.
And this is open to all levels, right? Yep. That's the point of this, is that on those skill days, there will be 2 coaches there to work at different levels with different people. Yeah. So don't feel like this is an advanced class by any means. It's just an extra opportunity to do some extra stuff.
Yeah, just once in a while, giving ourselves a little more time.
Yeah.
And then again, with like self-selecting into things, we're following where the ship is already going. Yeah. We're just going with the flow of what people like. So at 6:30, Coach Pat's been doing conditioning on Thursdays through the summer. Yeah. He works out with people. It's just a low skill, just a sweat sesh kind of thing, usually like an EMOM or a little longer, grind on the machines and a chance to work on that engine and get sweaty. Yeah.
It started out just as him. He was going to do one of these things because he likes to throw in a little bit of extra cardio type stuff. And then people started wanting to do it with them. And now it's a really popular class that people really enjoy. So Pat's going to be moving to Mondays coaching. So we'll be shifting that one. We're going to call that class Sweat, right? And then we're going to continue that theme. And I'm going to be doing some other classes of some stuff that I like to do as well. So Mondays will be our sweat class with Pat. He'll be working out with that group. I've been playing around with a lot more just accessory stuff that I just like to do. I just find it fun. I'm getting old, right? Turning 45 tomorrow. So my joints, they need a little bit extra attention. And so I've been doing some more like pump stuff And I think it's great. I really enjoy the process. So we're going to call it Swole, and we're going to do Tuesdays at 6:30. So we'll do some bench press. We'll maybe do some bicep curls. We'll maybe do some shoulder accessory stuff. We're going to focus on less functional, more isolation type things. It's really good for joint health. It's really fun to do. Everybody likes getting a little pump on once in a while. There's all kinds of different stuff. We'll mix it up. I'll be doing it with everybody. So if you're into that type of thing, that's an opportunity to come in and do that.
And Tuesdays will continue to be our heavy squat day. And usually we do a little sprinty hot down kind of thing. So you could certainly come and do your squats and then stick around for a little bench and some curls after or before, right? If you want to squeeze that in after the 5:30 or before the 7:30, you can do that too. So it'll work well if you would like to spend a little more time hanging out, getting your pump on.
Getting that beach bod going. So,
for the winter.
For the winter.
Sweater bod.
So Monday is our sweat class. Tuesday is going to be our swole class. Wednesday is our kids program.
At 6:30 continues to be the NextGen Kids program. The classes are available for registration right now. The program, because I take a limited number of kids, is only open to the kids of our members. And because I think your kids are the coolest, everybody. So I take kids 9 and up. They have to be in grade 4 and up, basically for the reason of we're doing the thing. Like they need to be able to focus and listen. We're doing real workouts that require them to count properly and start to incorporate that integrity. And there's no cutting corners and doing 6 reps when it should be 10 and that sort of thing. But we also do a lot of focus on good technique in the basics of weightlifting, deadlift and squat in particular. Lots of core work. Lots of planks, lots of farmer carries, overhead carries, that kind of stuff. It's the base of functional movement that every kid needs, and especially young athletes. People throw kids into all sorts of sports that their bodies are absolutely not strong or stable enough for. A kid that can't do a basic air squat has no business being on hockey skates or on a soccer field if they can't properly hold a plank for a minute, or if they can't properly secure a neutral spine to pick up a kettlebell off the floor. Like those kids have no business doing things at high speed and getting hit, or lots of agility moving side to side. That's how kids end up like blowing ACLs and having major back injuries and hip injuries and stuff. So super great program to build the base at that prime neuromuscular learning age. Between 9 and 12 is really where you want to prime good technique. This is the lecture I was used to give Atlas. He'd want to go heavier. Yeah. And I was like, not yet, not yet. We spent between 9 and 12, like just working good technique and stability. And then when he started to hit puberty and started to grow, he's 13 now. Now he gets to hammer the weights. And every time that kid touches a barbell, he gets stronger. It's crazy.
And he's super pumped to push the weights too.
And he can, because he spent years working on the base of good technique. Right. And then when he goes to do a really high velocity sport like gymnastics, he has good control of his knees and hips and spine and shoulders and all that kind of stuff. So definitely would encourage anyone with young athletes, especially, to make sure their kids are hitting that base. I'm doing them in 3 5-week chunks between September and the Christmas break that basically go from their Wednesdays. They continue on Wednesdays, but we go from September to basically the week of Thanksgiving. And then we go from that week to the week of Remembrance Day. And then we go from that week to when Christmas break happens from school. Right. So there's 3 5-week blocks. So if you have athletes that are like, they can't come in September because they're playing football, but they can start in October, that's totally fine. So there's all 3 are available for registration right now. You can do all of them or one of them or 2 of them, but I do take a limited number of kids. So,
and then Thursdays, we're going to bring back some gymnastics stuff. So this will be different from previous gymnastics seminars in that I will be doing the stuff as well, but I'll still be there to give some people some guidance and some ideas on some stuff to work on. But we'll call this one skills. It'll be like a gymnastics EMOM, right? So if you have them, we'll do strict muscle ups. If not, maybe we'll do strict pull-ups on the rings. There'll be options for scaling and everything. But if you're interested in developing more capacity in your gymnastics movements, or you just want to build the kind of foundational strength you need to get to those gymnastics movements, that'll be a good opportunity to work on those.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Last thing we're going to be doing is something new to you and I as well. Mm-hmm. So we're calling this the Health Accelerator.
Yeah. A little Health Accelerator weekend. And it's kind of a mashup of several things. I went and spoke at a health conference in Maryland in July. It was a 2-day health conference of just speakers, but lots of focus on both fitness and nutrition. And people came away from that like really jazzed up and really pumped to go home and implement what they'd learned, the knowledge. So there was that. That was really great. I ran 2 weeks of kids camps this summer. And when people saw it in the gym, they were like, I want to come to kids camp. That looks awesome, right? We were like learning about movements, really dialing it in, learning about nutrition. I was cooking with them, giving them all kinds of guidance on like how to read food labels and how to decide what's food and what isn't, what they should eat. And then they were going home and lecturing their parents on, this is an ultra processed food.
Yeah. We've also had people that half joking, but kind of serious, are like, it would actually be good to do foundations again. You know, I miss spending that much detail, like one-on-one working with whatever. So we were thinking, okay, well, maybe it doesn't hurt to revisit the basics and give yourself an opportunity to really dial in all the movements and the CrossFit philosophies. And, you know.
So we're going to do September 29th and 30th, Friday night, 5:30 to 8, and then Saturday from 1 to 5. So a little 2-day mini conference, mini seminar, if you want to call it. We're going to do some movement improvement sessions within that time. We're going to do some whiteboard lecture time, lots on the nutrition and sleep and recovery aspects of things, but then also revisiting or digging into the CrossFit methodology too. One of the things when I first started interning with the CrossFit seminar staff, back was pre-COVID, whenever that was. I mean, I'd been doing CrossFit for the better part of a decade at that point, but I sat through a level 1 and I hadn't done one since 2008. And I was like, wow, I got a lot out of this, just revisiting the basics, even after all those years. And I feel like every time you come back to it with more experience, you see it and hear it with different eyes and ears, and you get more out of it from a different perspective.
Yeah. And I did a level 1 as well that we were hosting, and same thing. It's so nice to be able to take a step back and start from the beginning and really think about the genius that was some of the principles that came out of Greg Glassman. And a lot of the theory stuff is super interesting and really great to revisit. And it'll help you rethink about how you should be implementing your training. Doing the movement stuff is great for anybody, right? There's no such thing as a perfect mover. There's always room to do some sort of improvements. And, this just gives people an opportunity to dive in.
And also incorporating I had run a series of nutrition and sleep seminars a couple years ago. So I have lots of this material just sitting on my computer that needs to get unearthed again. So it's a mashup of all of these things, a little health conference, a little movement improvement, a little CrossFit seminar, a little nutrition seminar, a little bit of everything.
Workouts as well.
Yeah, including movement improvement and workouts for sure. It's open to anybody.
Yeah, so non-members, people that have never done CrossFit before, veterans that have been with us for 10 years, anybody that wants to come and do this can join up. And we're also going to make this an option. Instead of doing the foundations, you can do our Health Accelerator weekend and you're good to go into all the regular classes.
Yeah. So it makes a great introduction to the CrossFit methodology and BRIO. So if you have a friend that is keen to join the gym, if they go through one of our Health Accelerator weekends, they can hop right into the classes from that point. So it can take the place of our foundations program. So first one will be September 29th and 30th.
Yep.
And if there's demand for it, I'd love to keep doing them on a semi-regular basis, monthly or maybe every 6 weeks, and maybe doing some little tilted specifically, maybe like one for older adults and one for, women specifically, or one for youth athletes, and some of the training and nutritional needs to more specific groups of people. So if you're into it, you can sign up. I'll post the links when that's ready for registration as well. And feel free to tell a friend and bring someone with you that needs to learn some things about fitness and nutrition.
Yeah, I think it'll be an exciting thing to do, and we're excited to do it because it's not something we've done before, but I think it'll be a lot of fun.
It's something that I've done in various forms, but I'm actually bringing it to our community. I keep traveling to go do these things other places.
Yeah. We've never built our own, because it's not just CrossFit. It's also, what are we about? What BRIO, and what are your philosophies on nutrition? And it's just much more of a, our community thing. Yeah.
Comprehensive, all of our knowledge in one place. And then finally, one more thing happening in September. Monday, September 11th.
Oh,
your girl is turning 40.
Foot in the grave.
1 foot in, 1 foot. I told you guys, I'm dying in this gym with y'all. So turning 40, I'm halfway there.
We're a third of the way there.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to live to 120. People were like, we should have a party and we should sell something. I'm like, I hate going out for dinner. I don't like drinking. I'm the worst. And that's why I'm going to live to 120.
No fun.
No fun at all.
She'll be super old in a CrossFit gym with no friends.
But I was like, what do I like to do? Well, I like being outside. I like being with my fit friends and doing stuff. So we've been doing the Ruck a Week challenge. Week 10 is next week. we're going to make a bonus week 11 on the 11th. If you want to come hang out with me on my 40th birthday, we're going to do a big ruck around the river. So there'll be no classes Monday night. We'll start it kind of just after work time. I'll post the exact route and where you can meet up with us, probably starting around Rotary Park. We'll do a big ruck. I'd like to do a longer one, maybe 10K. And with a sort of midpoint, if you'd like to meet up with us halfway, and then ending probably at Homestead Ice Cream.
So we can just watch other people have ice cream.
I will say like one of my cheat day things is a good strawberry ice cream.
Yeah.
And I like the real thing. I like Homestead because they actually make their own stuff there. It's not just like shitty Chapman's.
So if you want to see Jocelyn eat something with sugar in it, come do it on her birthday.
Yeah, come hang out with me on my birthday. Do a ruck, throw your backpack, throw your weight vest on, just come truck around the city.
Yep.
Hopefully the weather will cooperate for us and we can have a nice evening.
Yeah. Will this be weather pending, or are we going to tough it out in the rain?
Well, I mean, if it's really gross.
Yeah.
I would do it in the rain. I don't mind a little rain. That's fine. But if it's like
tornadoes,
if it's tornado-y,
yeah,
then maybe no. So weather pending. I think it'll be nice. Usually September is pretty good. One year it snowed on my birthday. So there's the potential for that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like 30 degrees. So it can really go any direction. But yeah, that's what I decided on. People are bugging me to do something. I was trying to be out of town. I am working in Ontario the weekend before, and I thought I would be traveling home on my birthday, but I will actually be home Sunday night and out. So I'll be home all day Monday on my birthday. And people were not about to let me get away with just hiding in my basement and pretending I'm not turning 40. So I'm going to emerge from the basement. I'm going to go outside and going to rock around nice, pretty Saskatoon with my fit friends. So please join me. That would be great. All right. So we always like to do new things, try things. We like your feedback too, to see how it's going. Most of the things emerge as good ideas from someone else. So we like ideas and feedback and stuff. So
lots of stuff coming up this September, and this will all start after the long weekend. We're going to do like a first big Saturday on the long weekend because you and I are both there. I think it'll be some cool stuff to check out.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
See you in the next one.